Welcome to the Rant. I'm John Shannon. I wasn't really ready to do another rant here for a couple of days. I'd pretty much worn out just about every possible topic I could think of, including the election, the healthcare issues, racism. I think I've worn out just about every topic I possibly can over the last month or so. But there's something that I mentioned it a couple of months ago, and with what is in the headlines now, it's still very, very much a thorny issue for me, and I just don't seem to understand how or why the sex lives, or I should say the promiscuous sex lives of certain elected officials, why is it such big news? I mean, you go from the whole situation there in New York City, or excuse me, not New York City, but New York State rather, with the ex-governor Spitzer and his affair with a high-priced call girl, his successor admitting to having sexual affairs. And now the big story, of course, is in Detroit, how that city's mayor, Fitzpatrick, I believe his name is being indicted under perjury because he had, or allegedly had, an affair with his female chief of staff. Actually, they're both under indictment, as I understand it. Now, this one kind of really sticks in my craw because, okay, the Spitzer story was pretty much okay, the man, went out and got prostitutes. Well, prostitution, while I don't necessarily agree, but prostitution is still illegal, and that does set a bad, this is an understatement. It does set a bad example. But the mayor of Detroit, now, unless he is being investigated for using city resources in order to have this affair with his chief of staff, I don't understand why anybody outside of his wife, his family, and his God, I don't understand where it's anybody else's business. And it just goes back to what I have complained about for God knows how long. It is this whole National Enquirer mentality that our society seems to be stuck on. We care so much more about who is sleeping with who than we do about anything of any substance. And I don't want to condone the behavior. I guess as I get older, and as I have now been lucky enough to be in the type of relationship that I can be just to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm lucky enough to have a wife that, I don't need to go looking elsewhere. But that should be, if I were to, that should be nobody's business but mine, and God forbid if I were to get caught, or speaking in general here, if I were doing such a thing and were to get caught, that would be between myself and my wife. And I don't understand why people are just so fascinated. Are people so fascinated with who other people are sleeping with? You look at you pick up a copy of the National Enquirer. This person is, who cares? Oprah and Stedman Graham. Who cares if they're breaking up? Who cares who Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend is this week? Who cares whether or not Britney Spears aborted her child and is still going out with that paparazzi guy? It may be okay for a release or a diversion from everyday life. I understand that, but people have to realize that we as a society have far more pressing issues than whether or not the mayor of Detroit has had an affair. That city in general has a whole lot deeper issues than whether or not their mayor is having an affair. I don't understand why the courts, quite frankly, are tying up their resources over this. This is a big deal. And I've never been to Detroit, but I've seen enough and read enough that I think that Detroit has a few bigger fish to fry, to be honest with you. And it's a shame that the mayor can maybe again, I don't want to convict him in the court of public opinion, but if he did so, well, then shame on him. But like I said, that is not the business of the public. The public at large, just like I said, they need to focus on a few more things that are a lot of a lot greater importance. And I guess that's all I got on that. Until the next time, thanks for listening. This is John Shannon, the Redneck Cabbie. Adios.